Khosla, our politicians don't take climate change seriously. We know that. And I think having elections, planning elections in the middle of peak summer, when your summer is only getting hotter, is a reflection of that. Do you think this is, do you think this is honestly the last summer election that is happening? Because every indication tells us that in the next 5 years, in 2019, by the time we get to 2029, if we hope to have elections in May, the voter turnout will be 40%. God knows I will not go and vote out if it's 48 degrees where I am. Aarti Khosla, that question was for you. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I think there is a bit of a lag. I can hear you. I heard the question. What about the next time? Logically speaking, next time we should have elections in the spring season. February, March is the most ideal time. A lot of the country is not having the heat waves. We don't have rains in that time. There is not much difficulty from that side. The forest fires have not set in, which have become a regular phenomena in the upper Himalayas. We are seeing hundreds of forest fires in Uttarakhand that are happening. We are seeing states that are going to have heat wave will vote at the time of the heat wave, which seems counterintuitive if you look at it from a climate point of view. At best, I think we will have to set some type of schedules. An election commission needs to do that kind of an all-party discussion where at least states that are expected to have a heat wave in that time are voting first. And even setting those kind of basic parameters right and changing that mindset that climate is not a peripheral issue. It's really about how people can get out of the house and cast their vote is something that needs to be ingrained into the politician's mind as much as it must be ingrained into the public's mind, because environment and climate are not some future issues of long-term implications lying out in the 2070, and they are not the net zero goals in the future. They are the here and now. And I think just the political mindset, recognizing the here and now and seeing how much preparation needs to be done. Look at the preparations that the Election Commission are doing right now. They're setting up shades and water arrangements, and all kinds of things are being done as mitigation measures to make sure that both those who are conducting elections and those who are coming to vote are able to vote. But this is really patchwork at this moment. I think in the next couple of years, with the kind of heat wave the Indian subcontinent is facing, and there is data to show that, you look at the map of the world today with the heat waves, and Asia is quite red in terms of high temperatures, but India is just a fiery ball of fiery mass, and it's very high temperatures in large parts of eastern India, peninsular India, heat waves in states like Kerala, which never saw heat waves before, changing weather systems. And I think it will just be a basic requirement of the election process to pay heed to the weather and to pay heed to how people will go out and vote. We saw this time as well, the voter turnout was less, and it's very hard. It's the first time in that sense where we are trying to place climate issues right next to voter turnout, and you can do nitpick, and you can say that it's not directly related, but very soon it will be very directly related to everybody.
And how can you not take climate? Tathagar Satpathy, I have exactly 30 seconds and I want you to come in and respond to this. How can your politicians or how can a country not take climate change seriously, given the fact that we are in the month of May? In some parts of the country, you have a severe heat wave. The frequency of heat waves, the duration of heat waves is increasing. And then there are parts of this country up north where in May you're witnessing snowfall. Do you think this is the last, 2024 is the last summer election that India should have?
So when do you have elections? You can't have them in monsoons. If you do it in winter, then there's a large part of North India, the mountainous regions where you cannot have polling. So this is probably the only time we can have polls. And I don't think this is a bad time. This is one thing.
February,
Second
March?
thing is, to finish my thing quickly.
February, March? What's the problem with February, March?
February, March would be inaccessible in many parts of North India. I am certain parts of Leh, parts of Kashmir, Uttarakhand would be inaccessible. I'm not very sure of the particular areas, but I'm sure if somebody actually studies and finds out, there will be large tracts of areas which would be inaccessible. So that would be a problem again. And monsoons, it's a problem throughout, from Kerala to Odisha to Assam to wherever. So I think this is the only dry season, and it is okay if the politicians get the brunt of the heat, let them have the fun. There is no harm. And as long as you are comfortable, how does it matter? Secondly, I have read quite intently the manifesto of the Congress Party, the BJP, and the local Biju Janata Dal, and except perfunctory mentions about climate change, none of these political parties have bothered to address climate change in the next 5 years. So that is more important for me. And I think sometimes it is good if politicians get the heat, literally.
Arey bhai, but we are also getting the heat as voters in the election commission and security forces as well, Tathagat Satpathy.
Yeah,
But we'll
yeah.
leave it there for the moment. Thank you for your perspective, Aarti Khosla. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. It was great to have
Thank
both of you
you.
and get your
Thanks.
perspective on why India should suffer summer elections.